Have you ever noticed how someone suddenly dismisses you the moment you pull back? 1 minute, you're available, they take you for granted, treating you like an option. But as soon as you step away, something shifts, and they start craving your attention. Why does this happen? What's the secret to making someone realize your true value only when you distance yourself? Here's the truth. It's not about playing mind games or trying to manipulate their feelings. The real power lies in mastering yourself, embracing distance, and allowing them to experience life without you. In today's video, we're diving into 7 powerful, brutally honest reasons why pulling away makes them come back. But this isn't just a lesson in attraction, it's a journey into self-respect and inner strength. Drawing from the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, we're breaking down how to take back control, not only in relationships, but in how you see yourself. Before we jump into it, I want you to understand something essential. This video isn't about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming the power you might not even realize you've been giving away. It's not about waiting for someone to come running back. It's about making the conscious decision to respect yourself enough to step back and grow. You're not retreating just to get their attention. You're retreating to give yourself the time, space, and respect you truly deserve. And maybe some of you watching feel frustrated, tired of always being the one who reaches out, who makes the effort, who tries to make things right. But here's the wake-up call. Every time you chase someone who doesn't appreciate you, you lose a part of yourself. Today, that cycle stops. By the end of this video, you'll understand why creating space works and learn exactly how to do it in a way that leaves you stronger, more confident, and more powerful than ever. Now, let's talk Stoicism. Contrary to popular belief, Stoicism isn't about burying your emotions or pretending not to care. It's about realizing what is and isn't within your control. You can't control how someone else sees your worth, but you can control how much of your energy you give to those who don't. When you pull back, when you choose to direct that energy back to yourself, you send a clear message through your actions. You don't need anyone else's validation to feel complete. That confidence, that self-assurance, is what makes them realize what they're missing. So, if you're ready to step into your power, to learn how to find true strength in letting go, then stick with me. We're about to uncover 7 reasons why giving distance makes people realize your value, and you won't want to miss a single one. And if this resonates, take a moment to hit subscribe to Invincible Within. Listen all the way through and share this journey with friends who might need a reminder of their worth. Let's dive in. Reason 1. The shock of your growth. That people often become comfortable in relationships, whether friendships, romantic partnerships, or family dynamics, because they assume they know everything there is to know about you. They assume you'll always be there, always available, always the one who cares. But what happens when you shift that dynamic? When you pull back and focus on yourself, it's like the ground shifts beneath them, completely unsettling their expectations. Picture this: for months, maybe even years, you've been the one reaching out, making the plans, the dependable person who always has time. You've been the one supporting them, filling the gaps, meeting their needs. But then, one day, it changes. You stop chasing, stop calling, stop pouring yourself into them. Instead, you start pouring into your own life. You're at the gym, setting new goals, working on that promotion, nurturing relationships with people who truly value you. The focus is now on you. And suddenly, they're left reeling, wondering what happened. They thought they had you figured out. They took your presence for granted, assuming that you'd always be there. But now, they're realizing that the person they thought they knew has transformed into someone they barely recognize. There's something powerful in that shift, a profound shock that unsettles them to their core. It forces them to ask questions they'd never thought about. Did I misjudge them? Was there more to them than I realized? This shock isn't about playing games or trying to win their admiration. It's about growing beyond the limits others may have placed on you, even unknowingly. When people see you rising, when they see you investing in your own well-being and happiness, it becomes a wake-up call. It's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about living for yourself, becoming the best version of you. And the irony is that, in focusing on yourself, you spark their curiosity. They become fascinated, drawn to this new version of you, realizing they might have missed something vital. But here's the twist by now. You're so engrossed in your journey that their reaction is secondary. Whether they notice or not, whether they come running back or stay away, it doesn't change the value of your growth. You're not evolving for their validation. You're doing it because you deserve to thrive. This is your time. If you're just beginning this journey, choose one area of your life to elevate. Maybe it's your health, your career, or a passion project you've been putting off. Dedicate yourself to it fully, not because you need to prove something to anyone, but because you're worthy of living the best life you can imagine. And trust me, when they finally realize the depth of your transformation, it'll be undeniable. But by then, you'll be so invested in your own path that their reaction is merely an afterthought. Reason 2. The magnetic pull of self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is one of the most powerful yet overlooked traits you can develop. In a world where so many people lean on others for validation, approval, and a sense of worth, standing firmly on your own 2 feet makes you a rare and captivating force. When you become someone who doesn't need another person's validation to feel complete, you naturally set yourself apart from the crowd, attracting others in ways you may not even realize. Think about it. Most people are constantly searching for a sign that they're enough, for someone to affirm their worth, to reassure them that they matter. But when you break away from that pattern, when you become the person who finds strength within, it's magnetic. People start to see you as someone different, someone powerful, a force of nature who is thriving on their own terms. And here's the thing. It's not about shutting others out or pretending you're above needing people. It's about recognizing your intrinsic worth and not requiring anyone else to prove it to you. Imagine reaching a point where your happiness, confidence, and success are entirely independent of others. That's true self-sufficiency. It's a quiet strength, a kind of inner peace that doesn't need to announce itself. You're not seeking anyone's approval, nor are you relying on others to complete you. This strength, this independence, draws people in because it's so rare. In a world full of people trying to blend in, to follow the crowd, the person who can stand alone confidently shines. This quiet confidence is like a subtle energy field, one that can't be faked or manufactured. It's not boastful or loud. It's a powerful assurance that you're whole exactly as you are. When you reach this level of self-assurance, people around you start noticing. They find themselves drawn to you, wondering how you can be so at ease without constant reassurance. And it's here that the dynamic changes. They go from feeling like they're the ones in control to realizing they might be missing out on something precious. There's a deep truth here. People are often drawn to what they can't have. When you stop giving others the attention they once took for granted, they suddenly start craving it. Think about it. If you're always available, always accommodating, people can begin to take that for granted. But when you remove that constant presence, it forces them to reevaluate your value in their life. They may start to realize that what they thought was just there for the taking was, in fact, a gift, one they should have appreciated more. And it's not manipulation, it's a shift in boundaries and self-respect. When you embrace self-sufficiency, your happiness becomes untethered from anyone's opinion or behavior. You're no longer dependent on someone else's words to feel validated. Instead, You're crafting a sense of worth from within, one rooted in your own values, accomplishments, and the joy of living life on your terms. Moreover, self-sufficiency teaches you how to protect your energy. When you're no longer emotionally reliant on others, you're free to choose who you allow into your life based on genuine connection rather than need. You can set boundaries without guilt because you're not afraid of losing anyone who doesn't respect those boundaries. And as you start setting these boundaries, something incredible happens. You gain respect not only from others but, most importantly, from yourself. People notice when you're no longer so easily accessible. When they realize that they can't always have your time and attention, they begin to value it more. Suddenly, they're aware of how much you brought to the table. And when you show that you don't need their validation, that your happiness isn't in their hands, it forces them to look at you through a new lens. One of respect, admiration, and perhaps even longing to be part of your life again. True self-sufficiency isn't about isolation, it's about strength and freedom. It's about knowing that while you might enjoy being around others, your worth isn't dependent on anyone else. You can walk into any situation alone and feel just as confident as if you were surrounded by friends. This self-assuredness radiates a calm magnetism that's almost impossible for others to ignore. If you're beginning this journey, take small steps toward embracing your independence. Go on that solo hike, enjoy a meal by yourself, or spend a day doing something purely for your own enjoyment. As you become comfortable in your own company, you'll find yourself needing less external validation. And here's the best part. When they see how well you're thriving on your own, they'll be drawn to that energy naturally. When you create your happiness, confidence, and fulfillment without leaning on anyone else, you're not just living, you're thriving. And the beauty of it is that, by then, their reaction won't be your focus. You'll be too busy embracing the life you've built on your own terms. This is the true essence of self-sufficiency, and it's one of the most powerful forces you can develop. Reason 3. The envy of your newfound confidence. Confidence can be like a lightning bolt. It electrifies, catches attention, and shifts the dynamics around you. This newfound confidence of yours especially stands out when others have always seen you as someone unsure, second-guessing your worth or seeking validation. When you start to stand firmly in your power, it disrupts expectations, leaving them wondering, where did this confidence come from, and how did I miss it all along? Imagine for a moment you've been the person who hesitates, who doubts every decision, who constantly seeks their opinion, letting their validation shape how you see yourself. Then, something clicks. You turn inward, working to strengthen your sense of self. You build up your self-esteem, learning to trust your own judgment rather than relying on anyone else's. Bit by bit, your confidence grows, and you no longer need to seek anyone's approval. This shift is profound because confidence is contagious, but not always in the way people imagine. When someone who once took you for granted witnesses your rise in confidence, it can create discomfort. Your growth exposes their insecurities, forcing them to confront the areas where they may feel lacking. In seeing you evolve, they realize they haven't taken the same steps toward their own confidence, and this can lead to envy. It's not always toxic, but it's envy nonetheless. They wish they had what you now possess. They wish they could walk into a room with their head held high, feeling grounded in their worth. They see you doing it effortlessly, and it disrupts their perception of who you are. You're no longer the one who used to depend on them for validation. Now, you're someone who knows their worth. This confidence is magnetic. It draws people in and makes them question why they didn't recognize this strength in you before. Consider this. When someone becomes accustomed to having power over you, whether in friendship, a relationship, or even a work setting, it gives them a sense of security. Your constant approval seeking once solidified their place as someone above you in this dynamic. But when you stop needing their approval, when you make decisions without their input, it shakes that foundation. They no longer feel in control, and this imbalance breeds discomfort. This is the power of confidence. It silently demands respect, altering how others perceive you and the relationship. You don't need external validation to feel worthy, because you understand your intrinsic value. You no longer seek permission to occupy space, to voice your thoughts, or to stand firm in your choices. This kind of self-assuredness is deeply attractive, and others find themselves drawn to it. Confidence, after all, is alluring. True confidence is often quiet and grounded. It doesn't need to prove itself to anyone, nor does it seek the loudest presence. It's an unshakable inner knowing of who you are, and that is incredibly powerful. People around you notice. They see that this confidence shifts not only how they treat you, but how you carry yourself. Confidence isn't about perfection. It's the acceptance of your imperfections and the assurance that, despite them, you are enough. You've given yourself the validation you used to seek from others, and this change resonates. How does this draw people to you? Simple confidence is something everyone craves. When they see you standing tall, comfortable in your skin, and making decisions without needing their input, it sparks curiosity. This curiosity turns into attraction, and that attraction into a longing for your presence. Moreover, when you exude confidence, you force others to face their own insecurities. They can no longer project doubts onto you or question your worth. You aren't looking for them to tell you who you are. Instead, you show them who you are. And this certainty creates stability, a trait people naturally crave. You become a pillar they want to be around because confidence at its core is stability. To cultivate this confidence, start small. Practice saying no to things that don't serve you without guilt. Speak up in moments you'd normally stay silent. With each step, you'll notice a shift not only in how you feel, but in how others respond to you. Confidence doesn't mean you're the loudest in the room. It means you understand you belong there, even if you're the quietest. When you start to own your worth, when you no longer let anyone else define it, everything changes. People who once took you for granted will now crave this empowered, self-assured version of you. And that version of you, it's unstoppable. Reason 4. The magnetic power of unpredictability in relationships. And unpredictability holds a unique, often overlooked power in relationships. It can create a magnetic pull, drawing people toward you in ways they don't even realize. When you're entirely predictable, people begin to feel they understand your every move, which can lead them to stop paying close attention. They feel comfortable, assuming they know exactly how you'll react. This complacency can diminish their interest and reduce the excitement and effort they put into connecting with you. However, when you introduce a level of unpredictability, you naturally shift the dynamics, keeping them on their toes, curious, and engaged. Imagine a scenario where you're always the first to reach out, initiate plans, or respond immediately. At first, your reliability is appreciated, but over time, this predictability can lead to a sense of complacency. They become accustomed to your availability, assuming they don't have to work for your attention. The thrill fades, and routine replaces the initial excitement. But when you stop being so easily accessible, when you introduce an element of mystery, it forces them to take notice. Suddenly, they're left wondering why things have changed. Questions begin to arise of why haven't you texted back? Why are you no longer available at their convenience? Humans are naturally drawn to mystery. Our minds are wired to seek out puzzles and solve them. When you become less predictable, you turn yourself into an enigma, one they can't easily decode. This sense of uncertainty compels them to focus on you more, trying to understand what's changed and why they no longer feel as certain about you. They become curious, thinking about you more, and this curiosity breeds a renewed intrigue. But here's the key: unpredictability doesn't mean playing games. It's not about withholding affection or attention to manipulate someone. Rather, it's about living your life authentically, prioritizing your goals and happiness without bending over backward to meet someone else's expectations. This shift in behavior isn't forced. It's a natural consequence of focusing on your growth and well-being. When you start to prioritize yourself, you stop fitting into the mold that others expect, and that unpredictability radiates naturally. Unpredictability also has the power to create value. When your time and attention are not a guarantee, others begin to recognize that these things are precious and not to be taken for granted. Think about it. If you've always been the one to reach out, they may grow to expect it. But the moment you step back, they notice the difference. They're compelled to put in more effort, realizing that if they want to stay close, they'll have to meet you halfway. This shift from complacency to curiosity forces them to re-evaluate how much they value your presence in their life. The beauty of unpredictability lies in its ability to create a healthy balance in relationships. It's not about being unavailable or distant, but about finding that space where you're present without being entirely predictable. Start by breaking small routines. If you're always the one to initiate conversation, try waiting for them to reach out. If you're usually available at certain times, occupy yourself with other fulfilling activities. Make your time valuable by allowing them to feel its absence from time to time. This subtle unpredictability creates a natural intrigue, encouraging them to invest more. When people can't predict your every move, they begin to realize they can't take you for granted. This shift creates a powerful allure. They start to crave your presence in new ways. They come to see you not as someone who can be figured out and put aside, but as a dynamic, valuable person whose presence is refreshing and exciting. Remember, if this resonates, consider subscribing to Invincible within. Listen all the way through and share this message with others who might need this reminder. Now, let's keep diving into the next reason and continue unlocking the wisdom to live as your best self. Reason 5. The realization of what they've lost. One of life's unchanging truths is that people often don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. When someone you've poured time, energy, and genuine care into begins to assume your presence is a given, they unknowingly slip into a comfort zone. It's in this ease, this unquestioned availability, that the essence of your worth often becomes invisible. But when you step back, creating distance, a powerful awakening occurs. The things they once overlooked come rushing into focus. They see the genuine contributions you made to their happiness and stability, the unique energy and warmth you brought into their life. Initially, this absence may seem trivial to them. They might not notice right away, attributing it to a temporary shift. Yet over time, they start to feel the void. The subtle absence of emotional support, those cherished conversations, and your consistent presence. It's in this absence that the impact of what they've lost becomes starkly clear. Here's an undeniable insight. People often undervalue emotional stability until it's withdrawn. When you were there, always caring, always giving, your reliability was perceived as a background feature of their life. But once you retreat, it becomes painfully clear that the stability they felt wasn't self-generated. It was nurtured by your constant effort. Now, with that effort gone, they start to confront a reality that shakes their sense of comfort. Memories arise, reminding them of all the times you were there, supporting, listening, laughing. These realizations often grow heavy with regret, a form of emotional discomfort that doesn't easily fade. As they recognize the void, they begin to understand all the ways they failed to honor your presence. They see missed chances to reciprocate, times they took you for granted, and moments they overlooked your effort. This regret can feel profound, making them realize how much they let slip by unnoticed. Yet, This regret is a powerful motivator. When someone truly grasps what they've lost, they're often driven to reconnect, to regain what once added so much meaning to their life. But this isn't about giving them an easy path back. It's about honoring yourself. By stepping back, you've offered them the chance to evaluate their own behavior and appreciate what you brought into their life. You're showing them that your presence is not a gift to be casually accepted. It's a privilege, a value to be seen and respected. Your worth is a statement you make by recognizing your own boundaries. When you pull back, reclaiming your time and energy, you're asserting that you will not settle for being undervalued. You're acknowledging the depth of what you offer and standing firm in the belief that if someone cannot appreciate that, they do not deserve your presence. In many cases, they start comparing the quality of their life without you to what it was when you were around. In your absence, they realize that a meaningful connection, the depth of emotional understanding, and the unique companionship you offered were irreplaceable. They see that what they lost is not something they can easily replicate with others, and that's when they start to miss the profound joy and warmth your presence brought. But remember, this isn't about waiting for them to return. It's about standing strong in your understanding of self-worth and refusing to settle for a dynamic where you're not valued. This clarity creates a powerful dynamic shift. They can either rise to meet your value or fade into the background. In either case, you remain steadfast, rooted in the knowledge that honoring yourself comes first. When they do try to reconnect, it's likely with newfound appreciation and respect. Yet, you've already achieved victory by stepping back, by ensuring that you're valued on your terms. You've allowed them to face a powerful truth, that your presence in someone's life is a privilege, and it requires the mutual respect it deserves. Reason 6. The desire to be part of your new journey. When you take a step back and turn your focus inward, an extraordinary transformation unfolds. It's as though you begin to step into a new version of yourself, one that's more confident, self-aware, and aligned with your true desires. The changes you undergo aren't just noticeable to you, but to everyone around you. Suddenly, you're evolving, growing, and embracing new opportunities in ways that were previously unimaginable. Maybe you're picking up new hobbies, leveling up your career, surrounding yourself with people who genuinely value you, or diving deeper into personal development. Regardless of the specifics, the shift is palpable, both to you and to those who are witnessing it. And here's the thing people notice, especially those who once took you for granted. The growth you experience becomes magnetic. When they see you leveling up, thriving, and moving forward without them, something inside them stirs. They start to feel a deep, often subconscious, sense of loss. They don't want to miss out on this new, exciting version of you. They see you exploring uncharted paths, taking on new challenges, and transforming into someone they didn't fully understand before. Now, they feel left out, as though they've been left behind on the sidelines while you embrace a life of purpose, adventure, and growth. For so long, when you were always there, constantly available and prioritizing their needs, they took comfort in your presence, often without realizing how much they depended on it. Your consistent availability was reassuring, but it came at a cost. Their reliance on your presence became so constant that they no longer had to put in effort. They assumed you would always be there, but now, as you've shifted your focus to your own growth, the dynamic has changed entirely. You're no longer waiting for their attention or validation. You've become someone who is actively building their own life, pursuing goals on their own terms, and creating a life that reflects your values. The change is not just external, it's a profound internal transformation. And that's where the desire to be part of your new journey emerges. There's an undeniable truth: personal growth is incredibly attractive. When you are actively working on becoming a better version of yourself, Whether that's through your career, health, relationships, or emotional development, it exudes a certain energy that others can't ignore. You radiate progress, self-confidence, and ambition. This energy draws people in. The person who once took you for granted now sees a different side of you, a side that is thriving and independent. They realize your life is moving forward, with or without them. It's no longer about relying on others to define your happiness or success. You're now creating your own path, and this recognition sparks a sense of urgency within them. They begin to wonder, what am I doing? How did I miss this version of them? Why aren't I evolving the way they are? That sudden shift in perception, triggered by the clear contrast between their stagnant state and your growth, leaves them in a state of introspection. It's a wake-up call. They see you making bold moves, and they start to feel like they're falling behind. The fear of missing out on your new journey becomes overwhelming. They don't want to be left out as you embrace new possibilities. But more importantly, they don't want someone else to come into your life and appreciate this new, evolved version of you before they do. Here's the crucial point: growth doesn't just change you. It changes how others view you. When you shift your focus from them to yourself, you set new standards for your life. You're no longer the person who is constantly waiting around for others to step up. You've elevated your own expectations, and now others are forced to meet you on a higher level. People who once took you for granted now realize they can't simply walk back into your life and expect things to be the same. They know that if they want to reconnect, they'll have to earn their place. They have to show that they are capable of supporting this new version of you, that they are willing to grow alongside you, and that they understand your journey has changed. You no longer settle for the old dynamics, where you did all the work while others coasted. Instead, you've created a new dynamic where mutual effort and respect are required. This shift in perspective is powerful. When people witness your growth, they start to question their own progress. They might even feel a sense of regret or frustration. They see you making strides and wonder why they didn't appreciate you fully when they had the chance. This reflection often becomes a catalyst for change in them as well. They realize that their complacency is what caused them to miss out on your true value. And this realization fuels their desire to be part of your life once again. But here's the key: this isn't about making anyone feel left behind or making them earn your forgiveness. It's about you choosing to live authentically and fully for yourself. You've realized that your life is not meant to be lived for anyone else's approval or comfort. You are living for your own fulfillment, growth, and joy. And this is exactly what draws the right people to you. The ones who are genuinely meant to be a part of your journey. The people who can't support your growth, who aren't willing to evolve alongside you, will naturally fall away. And that's okay. In fact, it's a good thing. These individuals are not meant to share in your future. They would only hold you back from becoming the person you were always meant to be. But the ones who truly care about you, who see your potential and value, will rise to meet you. They'll want to be part of your new journey, not because they want to hold you back, but because they understand that your future is something extraordinary, and they want to support you every step of the way. When you focus on your growth, you're not just improving your life. You're demonstrating to the world that you value your time, energy, and potential. You're teaching people that you won't wait around for anyone. And if they want to be part of your life, they'll need to show that they're worthy of that privilege. This self-assuredness is magnetic. It doesn't push people away. It attracts those who are meant to walk alongside you in your next chapter. Make your journey about you, not to prove anything to anyone, but because you deserve to live a life that excites, fulfills, and challenges you. Whether that means pursuing a new hobby, embarking on a passion project, or simply becoming the best version of yourself. Focus on your growth. The right people will naturally gravitate towards you, and those who once took you for granted will realize, too late, what they've missed out on. In this new chapter, you're not waiting for anyone. You're moving forward with or without them. And that's exactly what will make them want to come back. When they see you thriving, evolving, and living your truth, they'll realize that your journey is one they don't want to miss. They'll have to earn their place back into your life. And that's the most powerful position you can be in. Reason 7. The fear of losing you to someone else. Fear is an undeniable force in human nature. One of the most powerful emotions that shape how we think and act. When someone realizes that they might lose you to someone else, that fear hits them with undeniable intensity. The idea of someone else stepping into your life, someone who recognizes your value in ways they never did, is enough to push them into action. It's the kind of fear that stirs deep within them, forcing them to confront the reality of what they stand to lose. At first, they might shrug it off. Perhaps they believe this is just a phase you're going through, or they think they'll simply return to their familiar place in your life when the time is right. But as time passes and they witness your growth, your evolution into a stronger, more confident version of yourself, the gravity of the situation begins to settle in. They realize you're not just pulling away from them. You're transforming, embracing new opportunities, becoming someone who doesn't need them to thrive. And that's when the fear really sets in. As you continue to progress, they begin to understand. Someone else might notice what they overlooked. Someone else might see the incredible person you've become and offer the respect, love, and recognition that they failed to give. The thought of you being with someone who truly values you, who sees your worth from the beginning, sends a wave of panic through them. What if they miss their chance? What if they never get another shot? This fear doesn't just revolve around jealousy. It reflects their realization that your presence in their life was something they took for granted. In the past, they had the comfort of knowing you were always there. Waiting, ready, available. Now, they see you thriving on your own terms, and they can no longer rely on the security of your unwavering presence. The possibility of losing you to someone else is real, and it's a threat that forces them to wake up to the truth of what they had. This fear, although intense, acts as a catalyst for reflection and change. They begin to question themselves. Why didn't I appreciate them more? What did I do wrong? What can I do differently to make sure I don't lose them again? This sudden introspection leads to genuine self-assessment. For many, it sparks the desire to change, to do better, to evolve into the kind of person who deserves a place in your life. But here's the truth. This shift isn't about manipulation. You're not pulling away to make someone jealous or to elicit a specific response from them. You're stepping back because you're focusing on your own growth and happiness. You are prioritizing yourself, and their fear of losing you is simply the natural consequence of them realizing your value. A value they once overlooked. Don't let the fear of how someone else reacts to your growth dictate the direction of your life. Your journey is about you. It's about creating a life that excites you, that fulfills you. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not for anyone else, but because you deserve to live your truth. The right people, those who truly appreciate you, will naturally be drawn to your energy and will want to be a part of your journey. But remember, if they want to come back, they need to do so on your terms, not out of fear, but out of a genuine desire to walk alongside you, to support you, and to grow with you. They must earn their place in your life not by default, but because they've grown and evolved too. And if they don't, well, that's their loss. You're already moving forward, building a life that aligns with who you are becoming. The ones who see your worth from the beginning will be ready to join you on this incredible journey. The rest, Those who didn't value you before will fade away, and that's okay. You're stronger, smarter, and more empowered than ever before. The bottom line, distance isn't about playing games. It's about reclaiming your power, your self-worth, and your time. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we can truly control is ourselves. When you step back and focus on your own growth, you regain control of your life. You show the world and yourself that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's recognition. As you continue to thrive, they won't be able to stay away. But remember, whether they come back or not, you've already won. You've built a life that's rich with purpose and self-assurance, and you're ready for the future, with or without them. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you currently giving someone distance to focus on your own growth? Have you experienced someone coming back after realizing your value? Drop a comment below and share your journey with me. I truly want to know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this empowering message. Remember, your growth is unstoppable. Keep moving forward with confidence, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to Invincible for more insights on embracing your true potential and living a life of self-mastery. Share this video with someone who's ready to take control of their journey today.